Hello and welcome to Collecting Iron Maiden. I'm your host James. On today's show, we're going to take a look at one of Iron Maiden's most controversial, but also arguably most important albums in their entire career. We're looking at The X Factor. The version of The X Factor that we're going to look at today is the vinyl version. This is the UK vinyl, double vinyl. It came out in 1995 upon the album's release. It's got a lovely gatefold. It's got a poster booklet, which we'll look at in detail later on, and the song details on the back. Now, the vinyl is quite a rare one for a couple of reasons. First reason is that Maiden's popularity took a bit of a nosedive in 1995. This is, again, for two reasons. First of all, Bruce Dickinson had famously left the band following Adrian Smith's departure a few years earlier. Metal in general was on a downward trend. Bands like Guns N' Roses had emerged in 1988, and then grunge had followed soon afterwards. So rather than a highly produced progressive style with lots of technical playing, which Maiden was famous for, people were more interested in a rougher, almost punkier sound than what was being offered up by the metal bands of the day. The other thing that changed in 1995 was the popularity of vinyl themselves. Most people were firmly buying CDs by this point, and record players were very much on the outer. So this particular copy of The X Factor on vinyl wasn't even stocked over here in New Zealand. This had to be imported from the UK, whereas previously they'd been manufactured in the town where I am now, Lower Hutt, just a few kilometres down the road. So the world of vinyl was crashing down at the same time as the world of bands like Iron Maiden, making vinyl releases like this pretty hard to find for collectors. So here is the X Factor vinyl. Straight away on the artwork, I absolutely love it. I know a lot of people, it's not to their taste, but to me, this is a very cool concept, which is really well executed. I love the details of the machinery that's being used for the vivisection on Eddie. I love the artwork of Eddie himself. People say it's too grotesque. I know in some places they used an alternate cover, which is on the inside of this one, because the outer cover was deemed too, let's call it risque, too grotesque. But for me, it's right on point for what the album theme and what the feel of the album is all about. The only thing I don't like about this cover is the font up the top here. It's the traditional Maiden font, obviously rendered differently. To me, it's always looked a little bit squeezed, almost as if it's compressed, as if it's too short in the way they've rendered it here. But that's a very, very minor quibble. On the rear of the vinyl, another cool piece of artwork. I've always wanted to build a replica model of that. One day maybe I'll find the time, motivation to do so. I enjoy the little vivisection schematic down here in the style of Leonardo da Vinci. I think that's a nice touch. We've got the markings to show that this is the UK version of the vinyl. Track listing as per normal. And I've always enjoyed getting a wee kick out of seeing Barnyard Studios as the place where it was produced and mixed. Let's take a look at the inside, the gatefold, to one side for a moment. So this is the alternative cover, which was used in some places, some territories. No issue with the font here. The font looks great to me. It doesn't look compressed or squiff. Again, I just love the detail of this. I love the industrial, bleak look of it. I love the Eddie here. I love the scream on its face. I love the giant girders for the X. The whole concept of this artwork really took my breath away the first time I saw it. I adore it. Let's have a look at one of the albums. So it's a double album. We'll just take one of them out. And as you can see, it's an absolutely gorgeous clear vinyl. We've got the image of Eddie on the chair there. If I flip to the other side, we've got a detail of the artwork which was actually used for Man on the Edge for some releases. So there's two clear vinyls on this, both absolutely gorgeous to look at. Really, really nice piece. And the sound quality is pretty good too. The other thing it comes with is a booklet fold-out poster. And it's a large one. So if we fold this guy out, you can see the full artwork of Eddie meeting his unfortunate demise on the table. And yeah, I'll admit that one is pretty grotesque. There's some pretty stunning detail down here in some of the gorier parts. Poor old Edward, eh? I wouldn't like to be in his shoes. The booklet also contains the lyric sheet and another Da Vinci style artwork there. There's some nice touches. I'm not sure if you can see this, but in the lyric book, the occasional lyrics are highlighted with different fonts. I've always liked the lyric to Unbeliever, and the last lyric, Allowed My Faith to Drift Away. They've made the font drift away, which is quite a nice little touch too. Really cool band photo. I saw this in promo shots before the album came out, and I was super impressed. Being a young, impressionable teenager at the time, I thought Blaze Bayley looked absolutely kick-ass. What a cool-looking character he is in this photo. Always loved this band shot, particularly with Eddie in the background. And then on the reverse of this, we've got some of the best band portraits I've ever seen of Maiden. I think they're absolutely brilliant. They're moody, they're atmospheric, they sum up the overall feel of the X Factor album itself really, really well. Spread that out so you can see Blaze and Yannick. Again, just cool shots, really moody, really atmospheric. I think that the X Factor is one of the most important albums in Maiden's catalogue. The return to a more progressive style of music after a couple of years in the musical doldrums, as I'd describe them, with No Prayer for the Dying and Fear of the Dark, where they tried to discover a more rough, raw sound. The return to the progressive stuff with the X Factor really signalled a return to Maiden's greatness, in my opinion. Some of the tracks on this album could happily sit on any of the utter classics in Maiden's catalogue. I'm thinking of songs like Sign of the Cross, Lord of the Flies, Blood on the World's Hands, 2 AM, and even The Unbeliever. I think any of those tracks could go on a Seventh Son or a Brave New World, or even a Power Slave in many cases, and they wouldn't feel out of place. There's obviously a lot of discussion around Blaze Bayley's contribution to this album. Was it his fault that this album didn't perform very well? In my opinion, it's a hard no. Blaze, I thought, did an outstanding job. No, he's not Bruce Dickinson, but then who the hell is? I think that the contribution he made to the album's feel, that darker vibe, can't be overstated. And I love these songs. I love this album very much. In terms of this actual vinyl copy, this is one of my favourite items in my entire collection. The clear vinyls are gorgeous. The sound quality is really high. I love the artwork. I love the overall packaging. And as I said earlier, it's got some of my favourite band photos as well. This particular vinyl, because it's such a hard one to find, it can be quite expensive. This one cost me 45 New Zealand dollars when I bought it locally about 10 years ago. If you wanted to buy it today, according to our friends over at Discogs, US dollars, you'd be looking at anywhere between 250 and 350 US dollars. So quite expensive. That's for a copy that's in near mint condition like this one here. So there we have it. The X Factor UK version double clear vinyl. Is it something that you've got in your collection? Is it something you'd like to add to your collection? Please let me know in the comments below. And also comment if there's anything in your collection you'd like to share with other people who watch the channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you later, and up the irons.